Yeah, I don't think I have any other announcements or anything, so we're just gonna jump straight into it with the Brandon Herrera video. This is his Kriss Vector 45 grease gun, or excuse me, grease gun on crack. Oh boy, I've never used one, but I'm somewhat familiar with the mechanics of the Kriss Vector, so this is going to be interesting. Make sure my volume is set right this time for the first try.
Submachine guns are based. But SMGs come in a lot of flavors. A lot of times you'll have a small caliber that fires really quick, or you'll have a bigger boy that's not afraid to slow things down but packs a heavier punch. But if you're like me, that begs one simple question. ¿Por qué no los dos? This right here is the Kriss Vector in 45 ACP, God's caliber, and my God is it quick.
There you go. Very sad.
Honestly, I'm a little jaded these days. It takes a lot to get a machine gun to make me chuckle. This did the trick more than once. This gun is, I don't want to call it impractical per se, but you better hold the fuck on. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kriss Vector 45 ACP. Now, there's a lot of places you probably know the Kriss Vector from. Call of Duty, Warzone, as the futuristic submachine gun in movies like Total Recall. The Colin Farrell one, not the Schwarzenegger one. This bad boy has been pimped as the submachine gun of the future, kind of in the public consciousness, so to speak. Today, we're gonna see if it holds up. Now, most often when you're talking about the Kriss Vector, you're thinking of the 9mm version, which in my experience is a lot more practical. You get to hold more ammunition. The recoil is a lot more manageable in full auto. We're not here for practicality today. We're here to spew as much hatred as possible in the shortest amount of time.
I'm also here for 45.
Yeah, this one is chambered in the Lord's Caliber 45 ACP. It's actually got a standard Glock mag up top. I believe it's out of a Glock 21 would be the full-size 45. But it's got a magazine extension here on the bottom, which allows you to effectively double the magazine capacity. Don't worry, YouTube. This is actually below 30 rounds this time. We're not just saying that. Just kidding, Susan.
Yeah, no, I think 45 for several reasons. First of all, 45. Second of all, the whole point of the Kriss Vector is 45. 9mm is much more controllable. Its unique recoil mechanism was designed because they wanted to be able to fire 45 at a higher rate of fire.
I'd never lie to you. Below 30 rounds this time. We're not just saying that. Just kidding, Susan. I'd never lie to you. I know Susan's not there anymore, but I'd like to still think she's watching over us. And I'll come to you if I need tech support.
Real quick, things like the Kriss Vector are very expensive, which is why we'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Watcher of Realms. Watcher of Realms is a next-gen fantasy RPG. It's time to explore the mystical continent of Taya and immerse yourself in a magical world with 100+ unique heroes. Fall in love with stunningly epic visuals, rich and diversified strategic gameplay, a unique hero collection and development system, and all the hack and slash carnage you can handle. It's free to play on PC or mobile, but you're gonna want those better PC graphics. And right now, Watcher of Realms is celebrating its 1-year anniversary, which means it's now the best opportunity to download Watcher of Realms. It will give you more. And throughout their first anniversary, they're doing a ton of events with new rewards. You can get 34 summoning crystals through daily login. Players can also get 2 new free legendary heroes from Fragment Summon and Fusion Summon events. Look at this new fighter called Helga. She can deal ranged multi-strikes to enemies and eliminate them quickly. I'm sure that's why you guys are gonna use her. They're also doing some surprise website events. Participate in those and you can win in-game rewards plus real-world Amazon gift cards. You can download Watcher of Realms for free now on PC and Android and iOS. And if you're interested in those website events, you can click the links in the description to check it out. Or you could use that QR code right there. So if you want to support the channel, go check them out. We appreciate them sponsoring this video. Back to the content.
I'm gonna let you fire.
I have several questions, but at the same time, Watcher of Realms, if you're the new Raid Shadow Legends, I'm open. Please. Please, please, please. I could really use some help. Ah, Nemo, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated.
The channel, go check them out. We appreciate them sponsoring this video. Back to the content.
I'm gonna let you fire like 1 or 2 rounds on 45 or just on a semi-auto.
Yep.
Just to get a feel for it.
Yep. And safety's where?
Right here.
Okay. So we're hot.
Now you're hot. Yep.
Yeah. So
All right. So try the burst.
Yep.
They're the same picture.
All right. You ready to ride the lightning?
Yep. Ready to ride the lightning.
Also, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is Demetrius Johnson, the pound for pound deadliest human in MMA. Had him down on the Unsubscribed podcast. That episode should be coming out shortly, but we did have him out to a range day the next day because it turns out he's a bit of a gun guy. Had some fun.
Lean forward pretty
See that
aggressive,
laugh?
and just,
He knows what's
if
up.
it gets away from you, just let off the trigger.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. You see, I went into
Yeah.
it. Fucking A.
Unusably fast.
Yeah.
Like as soon as that full auto starts, you can't see shit.
Yeah, I could. And I was scared to pull it too. And I was like, oh, it's empty. Fuck.
Something you might notice about this Vector is that it has the original hinge folding stock, which I just think is super hot. This is how all the Vectors looked when I was growing up and when I kind of came into familiarity with the weapon system. This is what Vectors should look like. For whatever fucking reason, all of the Vectors that Kriss makes nowadays have that little stupid adapter plate at the back to use an AR-15 buffer tube. I know it's more practical.
Why?
God damn it. I like the hinge folder. I spent a lot of extra money to have the hinge folder because I remember the first Kriss Vector I bought had the stupid AR buffer tube. Didn't know you couldn't swap it out. I was stuck with it forever. I still have it in a case somewhere. I've never looked at it since. Fuck you, Kriss. ADD break. For
He
today's
has a
rifle
good
penetration
point.
test, I'm actually going to do the 2-round burst just to see if it's actually quick enough to get it with that second round. Probably not, but it would be fun if it does. But today we're using a peach White Claw because, as you all know, I'm all about getting that peach, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'll tell you when you're older. Potential double penetration in 3, 2, 1.
That may have gotten me.
Maybe. I don't see two shots here. The second one was probably just a miss one way or the other, and whether it was the can flying away or whether the gun was just that fast. But we definitely got it on the bottom on that first one. Ripped it apart nice and good.
You ripped apart that peach from the bottom.
See, I knew you knew what I was talking about. So the way we have it set up right now is we've got the Magpul flip-up sights, and then on top we've got an EOTech EXPS2, I believe. Something also cool about this is that I think this is actually one of the original demo guns from Kriss USA. Because the only FFL engraving information I see, which is normally from, you have to engrave your FFL if you convert something to full auto, part of NFA compliance and everything like that. But the only FFL info I see is right here on the side from Kriss USA in Virginia Beach. So I think we might have ourselves an original all-American made Kriss Vector. Because when it comes to stuff like this and videos like this, where I'm talking directly to you, I would always rather support American manufacturing and not cheap Chinese companies. Manual of arms here. We have our safety here in the rear. All of these are ambidextrous, by the way, so flip it down here and it's off here as well. They're just linked internally. Cool part about this gun is that the selector is in a different space than the safety itself. So you can go from semi to 2-round burst to cowabunga it is, and it not affect the safety like it does on most firearms, like the ARs, AKs, stuff like that. They're linked. So you can keep it in fun mode while also going back on safe and just be one thumb switch, a button away. It does have a last round bolt hold open, so we take our charging handle here, rack it to the rear, bolt stays open. We have our bolt release here, which sends it home. Magazine release is in the grip, which I have mixed feelings about. A lot of people, when I hand them this gun, the first thing they want to do is hold it like here. So if you squeeze too hard, your magazine drops out, and that's not good. But I've always preferred the forward grip anyway, so
That I hadn't
not really a problem
realized.
for me, but I do understand how that could be an issue. To fold our stock, we have a button here on the driver's side of the
They
gun.
all have a
I guess you
forward
put it.
grip on them.
Press that
Makes
button
sense
in
now.
and just kind of break it out, and the gun folds up. It's actually really nice and compact. Like that is a good little manageable size there. Actually perfectly average. In fact, some might say too big. So when it's folded, there is no button to release it. You just kind of grab it from the stock and pull it out. Or as everybody does with stuff like this, you know, you just kind of test, see if you can, which you can. Dope. It is worth noting that the charging handle is particularly stiff. The spring is pretty tight in here, which I can only imagine is what contributes to that ridiculous rate of fire.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my god! Okay, I might like this more than the fucking M40, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's stiff because of the rate of fire, and it's stiff because this whole block here is your recoil mechanism. So it's got some machine guns have oversized recoil mechanisms, well, most of them do at least, just because of how they work. The Vector's is big even for a submachine gun.
Rate of fire.
Oh my god! Okay, I might like this more than the fucking M40, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's one of those, like, is it controllable and easy to aim? Absolutely fucking not. Is it just, that's the definition of a fucking giggle switch.
That is awesome.
Yeah, you definitely want to shoulder that shit. Yeah, now you see that is fucking...
Bro, that is that is unmanageable. Fucking Call of Duty, baby. Literally the gun I would run on Warzone just because of the cycle trick. Because I could run around and just hop with a laser and just like, hit fire.
All right, now let's get down into the meat and the taters of what makes the Kriss Vector a Kriss Vector. So we've got 4 takedown pins. We'll just pop these out. It's kind of like HK style pins. You just pop them out. And these here at the bottom, I believe, captured the bolt. And we are good. So now we have an upper and a lower. Now, oddly enough, on a lot of firearms, like the AR-15 and such, the lower is what's considered the firearm. On the Kriss Vector, it's the upper. So we're just gonna pull this lower off. So now we have our 2 pieces. We have our upper, which is considered the firearm, like I said, which is why I couldn't swap out that fucking stupid AR buffer tube that came on the back of all the new Kriss Vectors.
There we
basically
go.
just a hunk of plastic with a rail. This is where the fire control group is. There's no barrel, there's no firing mechanism, there's no a bolt, anything. All that is in the lower. So this is just a frame, I guess, is what you'd call it. It is interesting though, the fire control group is basically upside down. So I'm gonna take it off of safe. And you can see if I fire,
Which is why it's
little
the upper.
hammer swings down from the top. Almost like we talked about in the Alien video, how that kind of loops back around, I suppose. Little stuff like that, very intriguing. You know, what makes these firearms unique, what makes them tick. And if you agree, you can
Here we
always
go.
start in gunsmithing and weapons technology down at sdi.edu, down in the comments down in the description and in the pinned comment. So this right here is the lower, which contains our bolt. Drop our magazine. Later, dude. So this is your bolt right here as this locks in. So when this comes back, the bolt carrier per se is this piece right here. It actually drops down, putting a lot of, the way that they market it anyway, puts a lot of the recoil force downward into the housing of the gun instead of directly back into the shooter's shoulder. It's supposed to be a recoil compensation technique amongst other things. But it is interesting because when the bolt is riding, it's traveling a very, very short distance VC, which is, again, another thing I think contributes to the high cyclic rate of the gun. It's only moving about yay much. Let's go ahead and pull this out the bottom. You see it, you get a better look. My hands are gonna be disgusting. We put a lot of ammo through this thing. How this just kind of freely floats through here. We twist it and our bolt comes out. Bolt, very light. This little piece right here. We've got the little knobs there that keep it in the track. And we've got our bolt face with our extractor up top. And you have your bolt carrier with the spring assembly and everything. And this is the base plate that sits at the bottom of the gun. So it's, I mean, it's not really all that complicated, but it's definitely a unique design. But does it actually work when it comes to mitigating recoil? Well, Hard to say. If it wasn't so fucking fast, it probably would be very easy to control. But with its super high cyclic rate, if it does, it's hard to tell.
So comparing it to the other 45 ACP submachine gun we've got out here on the range, the M3 grease gun, let's compare that rate of fire real quick. Very, very nice and controllable. Now, what was the Vector like? So it's
I mean, that looked pretty controllable.
Newer, made of plastic, and hopped up on methamphetamine.
So to put this back in, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick this back in its track. Do the same with the bolt carrier. There we go. And you can see that the floor plate of the spring is what you see.
Comically slow versus comically
Kind of wild
fast.
that the actual
Indeed.
guts of the gun are just this. It's pretty neat. Yeah, definitely an unconventional design, that's for sure. And now that my hands are completely
But it is elegant.
filthy, let's go ahead and throw this bad boy back together. So again, reassembly, pretty easy. Just toss the frame back on there. Everything just kind of snaps together, and then we grab our pins, slamming these bad boys back into place. This one's a little trickier on the bottom because you got to line it up perfectly. There we go. And we are good. We are back and ready to rock. So overall thoughts on the Kriss Vector. Kind of a fucking bullet hose, to be honest, especially in 45. It's very hard to control in fully automatic.
That looks controllable to
I
me.
cannot say how impressed I am with that 2-round burst. Very fun, very usable, very manageable.
Doesn't even feel like it's 2-round burst though. It feels like 1.
Yeah. I was talking to some of the shop boys about it, and I think we all agreed it would be really fucking cool. I don't think it's possible in this platform. What would be really neat is if you had kind of a hyperburst kind of thing out of the Kriss Vector, where the first 2 rounds, you could do that 2-round burst, that 2-round hyperburst, and just brap, brap, and then everything after that in full auto is more of like a grease gun cyclic rate, a slower, maybe not even that slow, but just a slower, more controllable full auto, but with that hyper burst. That 2-round burst, very useful. You've got like full auto Glock cyclic rate in 45 ACP, and your magazine goes very quickly. Is there a use for this? Yes, of course, I'm sure there is. Will this be anything for me other than a cool new range toy? Probably not. But hey, don't let that stop you from doing off-the-roof 360 no-scopes using a green laser in Warzone. Dunk on those kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Kriss Vector. Seriously, guys, appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. And thank you to our special guest today. We've got Demetrius Johnson and my fellow podcast hosts from the Unsubscribed podcast. Had a great time shooting with you guys. And we'll actually have Demetrius on the podcast fairly soon. So look forward to that.
Love you.
Love you.
Oh, yeah, I guess. And I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video.
Minutes to load, 5 seconds to unload.
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with up to and disagree with Brandon here on a couple points. The point behind the 2-round burst is against armored targets, against people that are, they have the plates to be able to tank a shot, basically. If you're hitting them with 2 rounds at the same time, you're probably going to still knock them over, even if you don't penetrate their armor. So the 2-round burst is the idea of getting you a fairly ammunition efficient, highly accurate means of fire that is going to still likely knock a lot of people down or out of a fight without switching to the full auto. The full auto does have, I think personally, it does have more use than they're giving it credit for. Keep in mind that this is intended to be a very close quarters, very short range weapon, as most submachine guns are intended to be. The grease gun is a little bit of an exception compared to a lot of SMGs, in that it was intended to be really a primary battlefield weapon instead of just a close quarters, tight corners type thing. The Vector's super high rate of fire is intended to be oh crap, there's a lot in front of me at point blank range. Dump the magazine and clear that out. Then fall back to reload while the guy behind you is coming around to do cleanup for you. That is really the point of the super high rate of fire of the Kriss Vector, is you go in, dump and clear, and then the rest of the team covers in after you. It's not meant to be a primary weapon on its own out in the field, or if you must use it like that, you switch to the 2-round burst. But that's the point behind its full auto, not grease gun style, suppressing fire, supporting fire, extended engagement type stuff. It's a room clearer. It's a tunnel clearer. It's basically a shotgun that fires its BBs sequentially instead of all at once, I guess is the best way to put it. Because, if the enemy's in a stack, that extended rate of fire, first guy, second guy, third guy, fourth guy, whatever. So I'm going to disagree with Brandon a little bit in terms of where, just looking at what its intended use is. I'm an engineer, so I get into that stuff. Obviously, most things never get used the way they're supposed to get used, especially in a combat zone. So there is a fair amount of wiggle room there. While I can see the neat factor of stealing the AN-94's pulley system, the Kriss Vector's recoil mechanism is an elegant piece of equipment. The AN-94's pulley system is extremely advanced. It is also a hot mess. It is a disaster of engineering. It's great that they got it working, but you would not want to have to be dealing with that. There's a reason it didn't get fielded. So yeah, that's my follow-up spiel, I guess, on the Kriss Vector. Still an incredibly, I obviously like it, an incredibly neat submachine gun. I really like it. One thing he didn't do that I wish he did is it has a special silencer that's it's super long, that's intended to go with it and sort of handle its insane rate of fire. Which is another big, part of the design, is it has this purpose-built silencer that goes with it. And before anyone starts, I call it a silencer because that's what the original inventor calls it. Of the whole device, not just for the Vector one. And as a 45 ACP, it's already firing a subsonic round, so you don't need to fire special subsonic rounds like you do with 9mm. So, you load up the 45 ACP, you put the can on the end, and you fire it. I'm not going to say it's whisper quiet, it's still fairly loud just because it's a lot of mechanics running at the same time. But that's another reason why the 45 ACP, as far as I'm concerned, is the go-to round. It's designed to make it... If you had a conventional recoil mechanism at that rate of fire, it actually would be uncontrollable. It would actually be dangerous to fire it. So you've got the recoil mechanism to give you a high rate of fire. You got the special suppressor to make it about as quiet as a gun is going to get until you get to the super specialized stuff. So that's the argument for why the 45 ACP is the real Kriss Vector, just in terms of where it's coming from. And like I said, I think for what it's intended to be used for and how it's intended to be used, the high rate of fire makes perfect sense. AN-94 and G11 are great for special forces in quick missions, but not for regular troops. Yes. AN-94 and the Clockwork rifle are amazing. They are also absolute disasters to maintain. For Pete's, again, the AN-94 has freaking cables that you've got to make sure are properly maintained and greased up, and they can run smoothly or they might snap. The G11 is a Clockwork rifle. All you need is one little gear to decide, nope, I've had it, I'm good, and there goes your weapon. And you are not replacing that in the field. That is a grab a different gun situation. So there's my ramble on this. I don't think I have a whole lot else to add here. I haven't been a big COD player, so I really haven't had a chance to do a lot of online, playing with the fake Kriss Vector type fun. I know there's civilian, obviously they're not automatic. I know civilian Krisses that you can get that, hey, they're neat. A lot of them don't actually have a suppressor, but they have, an extended barrel that looks like the can to disguise the mandated 16-inch. I don't know. Is there a pistol? Is there a pistol Kriss Vector variant? Let me see if they let you do that. Obviously, you'll then lose the stock, but since it's not automatic, it doesn't matter. Pistol Kriss? They do make a pistol Oh, they still have the stupid nub on the back. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just make one that doesn't have the nub on the back. That's so dumb. You're making a pistol version. Just don't. Here, let me. I'm gonna pull it up so you all can see it. I should have done it here anyways. Oh, sure, they make a civilianized version with the normal stock. They make a civilianized version with the normal stock here. But the pistol version has that stupid nub still. Kriss, what's wrong with you? What the heck is wrong with you, Kriss? Why would you do this to your customers? Oh my gosh, I'd almost call that kind of disgusting. Because I agree, I do not like the obsession with these AR universal stocks. There's a better way to do things. There is so much of a better way to do things. But yeah, see, these both have the fake cans on the front that I'm talking about, that for legal reasons, if it has a stock, it needs to have a 16-inch or longer barrel in the US. So these have fake cans on the front in order to give the appearance, of them having the specialized. Mike Papahuska, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Yeah, they've got the fake cans to make it at least look like it has the suppressor. If not for this stupid thing on the back end, I would think, okay, maybe the pistol. Ooh, that's in 10mm though. Spider Raccoon and Frisk Plays Things. Hi, welcome. Thank you for the follows. We're getting okay, people are just popping in again. Hope the night finds y'all well. I am nerding. Yeah, 10mm is another good one. Gemboy, welcome. I will accept 10mm. It's supersonic, so it eliminates that whole subsonic argument thing. But it's another high Darth Samick, thank you for the follow. Welcome. But it's still there for helping control the high recoil. That rate of fire in 10mm would have to be absolutely nuts. Purple Baron, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Hi, new people. Holy crap. So I think that's my Kriss Vector rant and ramble. But yeah, you can get semi-automatic civilian versions of these, and you can pay the $200 tax stamp or whatever it is so that you can do the SBR version. Automatic, the only reason he can get an automatic one is because he has an SOT. So he pays a $500 a year license fee to the government, which lets him make and buy and modify and so on pretty much whatever he wants. He can't really sell any of it. You know, it just goes into his collection, and if he ever drops the license, he has to destroy it. But that's why he's able to do all these fun modern automatic weapons. You're paying a $500 a year fee for that. But for regular people that just want to own one, you can just pay a once $200 tax stamp for SBR if you want. I don't think I have anything else to add. That's just me doing a little bit of nerding and letting people know some stuff. Very cool though. Very, very cool. Grease Gun on Crack is a very good name for it.